How Apuleius was led away by the horsekeeper, and what danger he was in. By and by the horsekeeper, to whom the charge of me was committed, brought forth all his substance, and laded me and other horses withal, and so departed thence. We bare women, children, pullets, sparrows, kiddas, whelps, and other things which were not able to keep pace with us, and that which I bare upon my back, although it was a mighty burthen, yet seemed it very light because I was driven away from him that most terribly had appointed to kill me. When we had passed over a great mountain full of trees, and were come again into the open fields, behold, we approached nigh to a fair and rich castell, where it was told unto us that we were not able to pass in our journey that night, by reason of the great number of terrible wolves which were in the country about, so fierce and cruel that they put every man in fear, in such sort that they would invade and set upon such which passed by like thieves, and devour both them and their beasts. Moreover, we were advertised that there lay in the way where we should pass many dead bodies eaten and torn with wolves. Wherefore we were willed to stay there all night, and on the next morning, to go close and round together, whereby we might pass and escape all dangers. But, notwithstanding this good counsel, our caitiff drivers were so covetous to go forward, and so fearful of pursuit, that they never stayed till the morning, but being well nigh midnight, they made us trudge in our way apace. Then I, fearing the great danger which might happen, ran amongst the middle of the other horses, to the end I might defend and save my poor buttocks from the wolves, whereat every man much marveled to see, that I scoured away swifter than the other horses. But such was my agility, not to get me any praise, but rather for fear. At that time I remembered with myself, that the valiant horse Pegasus did fly in the air more to avoid the danger of dreadful chimera, than for anything else. The shepherds which drave us before them were well armed like warriors. One had a spear, another had a sheep-hook, some had darts, some clubs, some gathered up great stones, some held up their sharp javelins, and some feared away the wolves with light firebrands. Finally we lacked nothing to make up an army, but only drums and trumpets. But when we had passed these dangers, not without small fear, we fortuned to fall into worse, for the wolves came not upon us, either because of the great multitude of our company, or else because of our firebrands, or peradventure they were gone to some other place, for we could see none, but the inhabitants of the next villages, supposing that we were thieves by reason of the great multitude, for the defense of their own substance, and for the fear that they were in, set great and mighty mastities upon us, which they had kept and nourished for the safety of their houses, who compassing us round about leaped on every side, tearing us with their teeth, in such sort that they pulled many of us to the ground. Verily it was a pitiful sight to see so many dogs, some following such as flied, some invading such as stood still, some tearing those which lay prostrate, but generally there were none which escaped clear. Behold, upon this another danger ensued. The inhabitants of the town stood in their garrets and windows, throwing great stones upon our heads, that we could not tell whether it were best for us to avoid the gaping mouths of the dogs at hand or the peril of the stones afar, amongst whom there was one that hurled a great flint upon a woman, which sate upon my back, who cried out piteously, desiring her husband to help her. Then he, coming to succor and aid his wife, began to speak in this sort: Alas, masters, what mean you to trouble us poor laboring men so cruelly? What mean you to revenge yourselves upon us, that do you no harm? What think you to gain by us? You dwell not in caves or denies, you are no people barbarous, that you should delight in effusion of humane blood. At these words the tempest of stones did cease, and the storm of the dogs vanished away. Then one, standing on the top of a great cypress tree, spake unto us, saying, Think you not, masters, that we do this to the intent to rifle or take away any of your goods, but for the safeguard of ourselves and family? Now a God's name you may depart away. So we went forward, some wounded with stones, some bitten with dogs, but generally there was none which escaped free.